She got me started down the sponsoring path. So obviously, I did not break any big records when I got started. So you might say, how did she possibly make it to national manager? So let me tell you 3 key points that I think are really important to keep in mind as you build your businesses. The first point, don't worry, be happy. See, I need to tell you, I have a PhD in worry. Truly, I do. I learned this from a master, my father. We had a little thing in our house. We called it our centerpiece. But what it was is this big old calculator that sat on our kitchen table all the time. During dinner, during whatever, we had the centerpiece. And what my dad would do is we would sit down just about every morning, and he'd be looking at the checkbook, and he'd ask us to help punch out the numbers. In fact, about 3 years ago, I come and said, hey, Mom, what does Dad need for Christmas? And she said, he needs a new centerpiece. No further explanation. Got him the calculator. So I do have a PhD in worry. And I have learned that what you focus on is what you're going to create in this business. So if you think you're going to have postponements, you're going to have them. And if you think you're going to have poor presentations, well, you know what? You're going to have some poor ones then. And if you are worried about money, you're going to have those returns, right? So I really think you have to turn that thinking around. I learned some ideas on how to do this from a guy named Dale Carnegie. Didn't meet him in person, but I read his book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And basically what he says is, assume that the worst possible thing is true, and then you can assume it's already happened, then you will come up with creative solutions to prevent that. And so that way you can stop worrying about it. I have to tell you something that happened to me. This was like 6 years ago for Thanksgiving, and I had sent an order off to Weekenders. These gals had ordered outfits for their Thanksgiving celebrations, and somehow my order took one of those creative paths to the Weekender office, and it arrived there the Monday before Thanksgiving. Now, we were a lot smaller then. We had Betsy, who did order entry, customer service, receptionist, and office manager. And Betsy helped me out. She said, I'll walk this through. We will overnight it. You'll still get it on Wednesday. You can deliver it for their Thanksgiving. Now, these gals who had placed these orders lived 2.5 hours from me. And the UPS man came by, and he didn't stop at my house. I was going to drive this down to Southwest Minnesota. I chased him down the road. No, you must have missed me. You've got to have this order there. And he didn't. And I called Betsy at the Weekender office, and I said, Betsy, I'm a little nervous that order didn't arrive. She called me back, and she said, Susie, I am so sorry. They forgot to mark it next day air. And I very calmly said, oh. And she said, Susie, why aren't you yelling at me? And I said, Betsy, if I yell at you, will the order get here today? And she said, no, I don't think it will. And I said, were you the person who didn't, put that next day air thing on there? And she said, well, no, I wasn't. And I said, well, I guess there's really no reason to yell at you. See, the worry I had was that these women didn't have another thing to wear for Thanksgiving. So I called them all up, and you know what? Not a single one of those customers canceled their order. Why would they want to miss out on Weekenders, right? So don't worry, be happy.